More and more Americans are telling their bosses, so long, I quit. In fact, last month, more Americans quit their jobs than any month on record, going back to the beginning of the century. Excuse me, Al. So the question is, why is this happening? Well, in April, nearly 700,000 retail workers put in their notices. That's the most number of people in 1 month to tell their bosses, peace out. And it's not just retail workers. All across the economy, 4 in 10 employees have considered leaving. So why do you think so many folks are saying, I quit? And do you think this will change the balance of power with employees feeling like they finally have the upper hand? Write us in. We always want to hear from you, especially if you're one of those individuals who said, you know what? I'm no longer going to work at said retail store or at said bar or restaurant. What do you think, Erica?
I think a change is a-coming, and I think it's sweet, okay? Absolutely. Everyone talked about the renaissance post-COVID, and a part of that is autonomy. It's the idea of joy and fulfillment. People who always thought that losing their job was the absolute worst nightmare have been emboldened in some way. People are working remotely. I know my brother and my sister, who are younger than me, have sold everything in order to be fully autonomous, and I am so jealous, but this is the way of the world now, and I say you're holding the cards, hold them for as long as you can, because you are not going to see another cycle like this for quite some time, so get every penny you are worth.
I think it's a combination between the government and big business. I think we're giving people who are unemployed their checks, and they're making more money than they would from their big business they work at. If you're making under $32,000 a year, or $32,000 a year, let's just say, and then the government's paying you $40,000, do the math. Why would you go back to work? The big businesses have to start paying their employees more. Our minimum wage needs to go up. They need to stop worrying about their profit margins, because they need to increase every year for the stockholders, but now they're not even valuing their employees. And don't even get me started on Amazon, how they treat their employees. Yeah. So, and they're the biggest business in the world.
You're right, and I don't think the minimum wage has been raised, if a producer can tell me, in like 15 years, if that, right? So that should tell you something, because everything else, right, the economy, everything is going to cost you more money, rent, the whole 9 yards, but then you're not making a livable wage. So that's one symptom. Another symptom is a lot of people just they get stuck, and they're not doing what they really want to do. So we're also seeing this growth in entrepreneurship. A lot of people are finally pouring everything that they can into their one dream, even if that means having uncertainty. They can have autonomy, and I think that this is just the beginning.
Sam, you're talking about this story with so much distance, but like, look at you. Yes, you are a talk show host, but you guys are in the candle business. You guys eat, sleep, and breathe that. And you guys made it through a tough time, and I think that showed you that, first of all, your business could really be up against it, and you guys can come back. And if you're going to go down with the ship, go down with the ship that you guys started. And I think a lot of people are like you, Jeff. They're looking around and they're just saying, the idea of what your employer used to give you, 50 years of guaranteed work, give you a Rolex when you retire. Thanks, Jeff. Here's a rocking chair. Now people fire you year 49 to keep from having to pay your pension. Right. So the loyalty is gone, but they still want this kind of relationship, like I can email you at 9, and Jeff, can you cut your vacation short and come back? And people are like, no. And people are like, I'd rather just try with my candle company. If we go down with that ship, then we'll go down.
That's my husband. You're describing my husband. My husband is all about that. And yeah, the pandemic has been a rough year for our candle company, but we are now seeing the light, and you just got to have the perseverance, and it's tough.
Candle light?
How did you miss that? It was right
there. I know,
there.
right there.
You've been
you
around
didn't say
Tory
anything.
too much.
No, that was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, that's the difference.
Okay.